Hello and welcome to Fireside Chats with Leo Rodman, featuring your host, Leo Rodman.
Hey, thank you everyone. Let's try again. Hey, thank you so much everyone for joining us. My name is Leo Rodman, and I'm here with my guest, Paul B. Drohan. Paul, would you mind telling us a little bit about your background?
Hey, thanks, Leo. Yes, Paul B. Drohan. The B stands for Bradley, in case everybody's guessing. I always wonder what Michael J. Fox, what the J means. Michael J. Fox.
Secret, right?
Secret, right? So I am a designer by trade. Been a designer. I studied design in San Diego. I graduated from the San Diego City College design program in '97.
You've been at this for a bit.
That really dates me.
Yeah, it's okay.
So that's kind of where I started. I started in design and a focus in branding. So I've always been a designer, always focused heavy in branding in all aspects. And then I started gravitating to digital back in the early 2000s, which was websites, flash websites. So that was my main focus for a long, long time, was heavy websites, branding around that. And as we know, digital kept diversifying. And I worked for an agency for 16 years. It started off as Digitaria, then we transformed to Mirum, and I oversaw the entire creative team in North America. And we did everything digital, from websites to kind of digital marketing. And to kind of fast forward it now, I've been at Folklore since 2020. I'm a partner and I'm the executive director of creative here at Folklore. And we are a primarily digital company.
Okay. What are some ways that you're currently using AI in your workflows at Folklore?
So we started off a couple of months ago, really kind of diving into it. Like my team and I and my partner, Mike Matheny, we got together and we had a really good, healthy discussion around, this is happening. The train has left the station, right? We don't want to be.
Some people argue about that, but I think they're behind the times.
Everybody's got their opinion on certain aspects. People argued about websites back in the late '90s and 2000s.
They said they were a fad, right?
We're a fad, and nobody would ever sell books on a website. That's what they said.
Oh.
Right? So we got together, and because we are a primarily digital company, it of course doesn't make sense for us not to start spending time around this new technology. I mean, it's growing, right? It's moving at a pace that is phenomenal. So we got my team together. We kind of posed a challenge amongst each other to start learning Midjourney. And that's kind of the primary area that we've been focusing in, is Midjourney. So started all kind of practicing around it. I've been spending the most time around it. I've been spending a lot of time the last couple of months. And I found the group that we met on, the AICC, is that right? Huh? And then I also started, I joined Communication Arts, which Communication Arts, I've been involved in, a big fan of the magazine for decades. So I started just posting some of my findings on that, and just was getting a lot of attention. And then one of our clients actually kind of picked up on it, and now we're starting to implement it in some of our workflows. But we were already starting to implement it in some of our workflows by testing like how we can apply it to our current clients, like Polaris Adventures. So Polaris Adventures does a lot of lifestyle photography, but they also do product photography. So we started investigating like how we could utilize AI to change out backgrounds of product photography. And it worked. It was working very well for us. So one of the challenges that I continue to pose to my team is how can we utilize AI to speed up certain creative process and workflows so we have time to be more creative.
Okay.
So that's one of our biggest goals is how can we use the technology to free up time to be more creative and explore more.
How do you think clients are receiving it so far? Are some of them opposed to AI usage?
So far in 1 week, we have 2 clients that want to utilize AI in
Okay.
2 projects.
All right. Anyone come in and say, I don't want to utilize AI?
No, nobody.
Okay. And how do you deal with disclosing what was made by AI versus what wasn't? Do you bring that up with clients?
We do. So yesterday, let me see, today is Wednesday. So yeah, yesterday or Monday, sorry. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
We had a kickoff meeting for this new project. And that was one of the topics of discussion, especially around commercial usage and copywriting, because this particular client, they need to make sure that whatever we're creating, they can display it in the public. And they also had some questions around copywriting. So we did some research around it. We found out, like my account manager found out, yes, as far as Midjourney goes, we can use it for commercial usage. So we're good on that. We all understand that the conversations around copywriting is still up in the air. And we disclosed that to them, that the company, as far as what we're creating right now, they cannot copyright it and own it. So, we did the research and we disclosed everything that we understand around how to use AI and Midjourney for commercial usage.
Now, it sounds like if you do significant alterations and mixing and adding things and filtering and layers, at some point it becomes copyrightable, but no one really knows what that point is yet, right? That's the sticky part. So
that's a really good point, Leo, because that's the conversation we've been having internally. And I've had with a couple of other creatives that are really exploring AI, is it's not that much different than not using AI and just using Photoshop to completely manipulate something.
Yeah.
To piece it together and to collage it to a point where now you have to, of course, ask yourself, at what point are certain parts previously copyrighted and now it's something new? That's always the fine line in the gray area. And, it can't be as obvious as if you know Shepard Fairey, Obey Giant. If you're familiar with all the Obey Giant, Shepard Fairey did that really famous Obama poster. And it blew up, like it became this really popular poster of Obama with hope. But the problem that he ran into was he took a photo that was copyrighted off of Getty, manipulated it, kind of like stylized it a bit, and then used it in the poster. But it goes back to that thing. He didn't manipulate it enough to where it was ownable.
I mean, my understanding, what I've heard is it's got to be 51%, right? And how do you determine that? I would say since Andy Warhol, it's been a question up in the air. No one's really answered it yet. So
yeah, it is. I mean, we are in exciting times. I like these times. It does, I use the example of back in the day when websites were just catching on, we were having the same debates. It really was like the conversations were very similar, where you had very similar parties of doom and gloom and excitement. Like, this is the new digital frontier, and this is going to end all of like society, and we're all going to die, and the world is coming to an end.
And there was Y2K as well in the mix, right?
Exactly. So it really is very similar conversations of where it is right now with this new technology in a way like how websites were.
Where do you think we're going next in terms of graphic design? I mean, do you think there will be completely virtual graphic design firms with no humans behind them?
I think anything's possible, but it makes me think of how and when these websites that came up back in the day that were logo generated websites.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And they were very successful for a certain audience. And so let's say somebody that needs to turn out something quick, they don't need the craftsmanship and the creative like problem solving, and something that is truly going to have this element of human collaboration.
So you're talking about like a Squarespace or a Wix versus a human designer, right?
Yeah, a little bit, right? So, there's a lot of creatives and designers like ourselves that we bring a unique problem solving to the table. Mm-hmm. And you really can't substitute that. Like, at least right now, it might be in 20 years.
So far, right?
Right. That David from Prometheus will be able to outthink all of us, right?
Yeah.
So I think hopefully for the distant future, we have a good shelf life to us creatives and designers, that our uniqueness and our craftsmanship and our problem solving is like you can't substitute it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what makes me good at prompting, for example, in Midjourney is 20 years of art history and graphic design experience, right? Like, how do you replace that experience? I think an AI can't, but again, I'm ready to be proven wrong. I've been proven wrong about AI before, and I'll do it again.
I agree, Leo. Again, my partner Mike and I were just having a conversation. We are literally having like a lot of planning on how we can present this type of capabilities to our clients. Like, not necessarily package it up like it's this like package with dollar figures around it, but it's an extension. So it's no different than how we specialize in strategy. We specialize in UX. We specialize in visual design. We specialize in, development. Well, now we specialize in AI. And so we're having that conversation right now, mainly because these two clients really understand it. They've seen a lot of the things that we've been doing here at Folklore, and they're super excited about it. And they're excited about being at the forefront of this technology and being able to see what we can do with it.
What do you think's coming next for young graphic designers? Should they forget about learning HTML and CSS and Photoshop?
I think the more tools you have in your toolbox, the better creative you're going to be.
Okay. What do you think is going to be coming next in the next year or two that's going to really blow us away?
We'll all have neural links, and we'll be able
2 years
think about our prompts.
All right.
We'll just think about them, and we won't have to type anymore, and it all like
I have infosec questions about that one. I don't want Elon Musk hacking into my brain, but
no, man, it's such a Black Mirror episode. Like, I feel like sometimes all of Black Mirror is coming true in a certain way.
Sci-fi is a great predictor of real life. I mean, I posted about that with sci-fi books as well. Just if you want to get ahead in AI, read sci-fi books about AI.
I couldn't agree more. Some of my favorite movies, and I'm a big sci-fi fan, all have AI. You talk about Alien. He was AI. The synthetic was AI. Prometheus, David, and also, so many of the other ones. Ridley Scott has always had a very significant AI figure. Sorry, I got Matt now. Has always had a very significant character that is an AI.
Yeah.
And then you look at Ex Machina, which is another phenomenal AI movie. I love them all. You know, Her is also one that has predicted AI in a rather realistic way. So for me, I think it's exciting, man. Like, I think that designers and creatives, you know, they're always going to be better off when they can understand a variety of tools and technologies, and then they can decide how they use them. Like right now, I'm collaborating with this global print magazine. This like art design magazine called 46 Pages. I've been collaborating for a few years, and I'm starting to integrate AI imagery in some of the things that I designed for that magazine. And it's just a good old print magazine.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, that's about time for us, about 15 minutes. So I'll go ahead and wrap. Anything else you want to say to the audience before we close up?
Just stay open, keep your mind open to new things. You know, everything's changing. It's always going to change, and be adaptable.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure, as always. And
Thank you.
thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Take care, Leo.
All right.